Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Watch World, and today we are going to be taking a look at this Phylida Seamaster 300 Homage and whether it is the best affordable alternative to the Omega Seamaster 300M. So guys, I hope you are all keeping well. In front of me here is an Omega Seamaster Homage from Phylida. Now we're going to go through the specs and see how it holds up to its inspiration. We have no need to throw up an image of the Omega, as for the first time in this series we have it here in the studio as well. So let's take a look at these side by side and see how the Phylida fares next to the Omega. Now I'm sure one of the first things that you will notice is the size difference, and that is because the Omega is a 42mm watch, while the Phylida here measures at 40mm. There is also a 2mm difference in the lug to lug, with the Phylida at 46mm and the Omega at 48mm. Both pieces have an inner lug width of 20mm, and the Phylida comes in at 13mm thick compared to 12mm for the Omega. Now I'm not going to sit here and try and compare the build quality of these watches, because obviously the Omega is far superior to this Phylida. But the point of this video is to see whether this Homage watch is worth the price, which at the time of writing on AliExpress was €138. That's about 144 US dollars or 119 British pounds at this moment in time. Now let's look at the similarities and differences between both of these watches. Both pieces have a 120 click bezel with minimal backplay. Phylida holds up very well on this test. There is minimal backplay when using this bezel, which means it could be used for its intended purpose as a timing bezel without letting you down. The bracelets on both are comfortable. The Omega bracelet gets a lot of criticism, but I think it is actually one of the most comfortable out there. Design might not be the nicest, but I would happily sacrifice that for comfort. One difference is that the end links fall straight down on the Omega from the edge of the lugs, while on the Phylida they protrude out. Not a look I like personally, and I think it looks much better when the bracelet falls straight down from the edge of the lugs. There is a push clasp present on both watches. Again, not much to talk about here, both are sturdy and fit for purpose. The Phylida one is sterile, while the Omega clasp has the logo and brand name etched onto it. The main difference here is under the clasp. The Omega has the push extension, which allows for very easy adjustment on the fly during hot and cold weather. The Phylida has a pull extension, which gives you a set amount of extra length, which is fine, but not as good as the Omega, as you can set different lengths to suit whatever is comfortable for you. As we move to the dial and case, the Phylida has a 3 o'clock date wheel due to it featuring a Miyota movement. This is opposed to the Omega date wheel featured at the 6 o'clock. The Phylida features a Miyota movement, but I can't find anywhere online as to what Miyota movement it is. The Omega, on the other hand, features their in-house caliber 8800, one of the greatest movements ever made, in my opinion. But for reasons I will discuss when I do a full review of this watch at a later date. But as for the Phylida, the AliExpress listing just states it has a Miyota movement, but no specific movement number. Now I would have to open the back to find that out, but at the moment I don't have the tools for that, so we're just going to have to take it as it is that it has a Miyota movement inside. Given that it's €138, I'm guessing it would be one of the basic Miyota movements. So on the Phylida we have a screw down crown that is blank with no etching or anything like that. They've also put in a helium escape valve. This is for show and is not an actual functioning helium escape valve, but it just mirrors what is featured on the Omega. Funnily enough, Phylida even went to the trouble of adding the HE symbol to the valve like is seen on the Omega. I found that to be quite an interesting add-on to this piece. The Omega has a water resistance of 300 meters, while the Phylida has not as good but still impressive 200 meter water resistance rating. A very good rating for a watch at this price point. The Omega has very impressive lume, but a missed opportunity on this watch that the bezel is not lumed. However, on the Phylida, we do have a lume bezel. The lume isn't as good as the Omega, and it doesn't last as long, but it does have a lume bezel, which again is another impressive feature on a watch at this price. So do I believe that this is the best affordable alternative to the Omega Seamaster? And the answer is yes. Yes, I do. I've spent a lot of time with this watch, and I have seen many others by other companies, mainly Alpha, Courgeot and Pagani Design, and I still think this Phylida tops the lot in terms of quality for the price. The only downside to this is that you have to have a watch with Phylida written on the dial. It's not the most attractive of names. It's a terrible name choice, actually, but in my opinion, it would still not deter me from wearing this if I wanted an affordable Omega Seamaster alternative. So there we have it, guys, a look at the Phylida Seamaster 300 Homage, taking its inspiration from the Omega Seamaster. Guys, I hope you liked this comparison. If you did, please do hit that subscribe button. It really would help the channel out a lot. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again very soon. Until then, take care for now.